Okay, we're getting set up here. What are we doing here? We're talking about a film. And at least one of us feels sick.
I was going to drive.
You can drive, I'll hold the camera. And we're back. We have driven, we have taken illicit substances.
They're not illicit. The camera doesn't do that, that's evil. Don't hurt the poor thing. Sarah, move into the middle more.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hi.
So, in case you don't read,
Oh shit.
we saw
the Asylum's version of Noah. It's called No Bat. It's about a guy who hates sheep.
I've just drenched your back in coke.
Oh dear.
Oh, fuck.
Like, literally.
How apt.
You flooded the car. All of the microbacteria will die.
It's a sign from the creator.
Okay, my backpack's safe and so's my camera.
Your floor's flooded in coke. It's a sign.
No, it's only a sign if pillars of coke fly up from the floor into the sky.
That was the waters of the earth.
I'm sorry.
That was in the Bible too.
I know.
I wasn't talking to you. You're like from a biblical literalist family, even though you're not a biblical literalist. And
I've read the Bible from cover to cover.
I
poor
haven't.
dear.
I read the dictionary from cover to cover to make a point to my parents about that.
You poor dear. I am a dyed-in-the-wool rationalist. Gotta have scientific fucking evidence or I don't take it seriously. Ergo, as far as I'm concerned, this is a bit like Clash of the Titans, though in parts this is seriously much more amusingly stupid.
Wasn't Russell Crowe in Clash of the Titans?
No, it was someone else.
Okay.
Sam Worthington.
Oh, perhaps.
Okay, we're gonna start off with no spoilers because we're hardcore and that's how we roll.
How do you not spoil the story of Nora?
Well, no, the spoilers would be things that they changed.
Nora the Explorer.
Okay.
So there's this man called Noah, and okay, let's start with the book version first.
Wait. I want to start off just with overviews because I know this film has come out here later than in America, so most people who watch this will have already had the chance to see it or see it if they wanted to, but I don't care.
It was quite shit.
It starts off as like a biblical epic crossed with Mad Max. Then whenever Noah's point has been made and proved that he's working for God, then he turns into a crazy cult leader. And they're trying to make us convince us that the villain of the film is, what do you call him, Ray Winston? The villain of the film's God. Well, that's fair enough. That's in the Bible version as well. But yeah, it is a bit shit. Although, I think it is absolutely wonderful that they spent so much money on wonderful CGI, which made the Rock guys look convincingly
Claymation.
like claymation, which if nothing else was charming.
Yes.
I almost thought I was watching Ray Harryhausen for a little bit, which was
I almost thought I was watching the Golden King from Return to Oz for a little bit. It's like,
yeah, they were the best part of it because it was like, oh, this looks like the 80s.
because the CGI animals look terrible. I mean, beyond terrible. They look like something pasted in out of Half-Life 1.
I thought they were cute.
Even the snakes?
No.
Can we have a snake?
No.
Oh, I like snakes.
No.
Am I allowed to like snakes?
Yeah.
Anyway, in the book, God talks to Noah, literally talks, and tells him, I'm going to kill everybody. Build an ark, here's the exact dimensions, do it, bitch. And then he gets 7 of every clean animal,
2 of the unclean, isn't
2
it?
of the unclean, and a different number for spiders and shit.
And most people think it's just 2 by 2, but 2 of everything, but it wasn't.
In this version, oh yes, and Noah has 3 sons, and they each have a wife. And Noah and his wife and his 3 sons and their wives get on the boat and kick about for 40 days and 40 nights, which is a literal translation. It literally means a long time. But, English is a stupid language.
Fuck you, English.
And then they land somewhere and they're like, yay, the world is ended and anew. In this, there's a fucking war.
To be fair, that's one of the addition parts which make fucking sense. It's like, you got a crazy cult leader has found the only part of the world that's not completely destroyed because God cast people out and, basically fucked them up. And then they have like a forest and they're turning to build it into what looks like a forest, a fortress of some kind. And then then he's like, no, the world's going to be destroyed. This is actually a boat. And then they're like, okay, then the rain does start coming. And then they decide to invade in. The humans in this are making fucking sense at that point. It's like, they got a fucking boat, let's take it. My biggest logical issue is that none of the humans got on except for Ray Winston for some reason. Why the fuck he was the only one? Really?
Because spoilers, by the way. An angel blowing up knocked him in a certain direction at the wrong time. Angels blow up when you kill them, by the way.
Nah, it's, angels occasionally make interesting film monsters. I've seen The Prophecy, and it's lesser sequels.
Here was my big question. All of the evil people were calling themselves Men of Cain. Now, Cain was cast out, but the way that Cain was cast out was interesting. He was cast out that no man would ever kill him, and he would basically be immortal. That was his thing. He had to wander the earth alone, immortal.
I thought he went to the land of Nod.
Yes.
Where he had children.
Yes.
So then he wandered on afterwards. So are you suggesting Ray Winston really should have been Cain?
Yes, he really should have been.
That would have been amusing. See, this is the sort of thing. We were mentioning this on the way out. I really feel this film is like halfway to the insane level it really needed to be, to be like the 300 of biblical movies.
So 3 people walked out and never came back, by the way.
Really?
Halfway through the film.
That's amusing.
About the time when the water spouts happened.
You see, the film wasn't, okay.
It was bizarre.
There's a lot of incest in this movie.
To be fair, the Old Testament has a lot of incest.
Yes, 2 people started the entire species.
It's the side effect of having a group of people who were very insular in a world that they didn't like and didn't like them very much. The entire of the Old Testament is the story of how we're awesome because no one likes us.
I know, but even Jesus will like marrying Emma Watson, who was adopted by his father and raised as their sister.
It was really funny seeing Emma Watson in this, simply because, and I'm not making a Harry Potter joke, because she looks like Richard Dawkins.
She does. She looks a lot like Richard.
So seeing Richard Dawkins in this, as a small girl, is fucking brilliant.
As the most logical character.
Yeah, and also being pregnant and, having a crazy religious person threatening to, cut them open and kill babies.
Seriously, she is the most logical character, though. She goes to Noah about halfway through and goes, Noah, I'm barren. If you're planning to repopulate the earth, you probably should pick another wife for your son.
He's like, no, I'm not a crow, I'll do what I want. Ah. The guy, Russell Crowe spends the entire movie evolving into Nick Nolte.
Also, what the fuck was with the magic glowing rocks?
Yeah. Like wee chicken nuggets.
Yes, they had magical chicken nuggets that could start fires, turn metal tubes into flare guns, and apparently be used as hand grenades.
I was fine with that, because it's
there was no explanation.
You don't really need it. These are leftover pieces of magic from whenever God was doing shit in the earth. It's a bit like having magical weapons in the Clash of the Titans. It doesn't really need to be explained. There's gods running around. You know?
I know, but one of the big central themes of this movie was God's not here.
But God is there. You got angels there. This is a world where God definitely exists and is influencing stuff and can make things happen, and there are remnants from when God was fully involved.
Also, 10 generations is a long time to still give a shit about Cain and Abel. I don't care who you descended from, Seth or Cain. You're
probably descended from both of them at this point, because otherwise you got Seth, got his wife from somewhere, who was the wife was either created afterwards, or possibly was descended of Cain, or was created afterwards, or something. But you're gonna...
And you've Cain who walked off and had sex with someone in the land of Nod.
Yeah, and like, Jennifer, what do you call her? The one from Labyrinth. She had to have come from somewhere. I would assume
woman that can't act.
She was, I would assume she was a Cainite. You know, at this point, the guys from Seth, because there's only like... It's a male line, apparently, and it's like, male there, the descendants, apparently, so at this point, like, the guy's probably 99% Cain descended anyway, but they're only taking it as important because...
Oh, so bear in mind, the Bible says that Noah was at least 300 at the start of this film.
Yeah, and he was 900 by the end. Just another thought. In Judaism, the lineage line is motherly, not fatherly. So, the children of Noah should have been whatever clan Jennifer Connelly was, not Russell Crowe.
The clan of terrible acting.
You ever notice how she starts off as, Russell Crowe's slightly younger wife, and then by the end she's his granddaughter. It's like, Russell Crowe's got to age 700 years, while Jennifer Connelly, 700 days.
600 years. Let's say. So, they got one thing right that I like. A lot of depictions of the story show the Ark as being like a ship that's designed to go somewhere. And they in this one they made it a box that just kind of floats about. Which I think is a lot more accurate. I mean, you're not going to build a boat.
Accurate?
More accurate to potentiality. If you're going to build an Ark, you're just going to want a floating fortress. You're not going to want something with it.
Honestly, I would, if they're going to make I think they might have designed it based on the length put in the Bible, but if you're going to make a box that's going to survive like a rough sea, because the more sea you have, the more hurricanes and sort of rough weather you're going to get. So you need to have one that's going to survive hella really, really, really rough seas. So a box like that is not the best shape.
No,
they should have thrown the Bible out and got themselves a square shape or a circular shape.
But I like that they didn't build it like a cruise liner designed to go somewhere, because it really wasn't. There was nowhere to go. It was Waterworld.
They were going to go to Turkey. Haven't you heard? They found the Noah's Ark up there about 1 billion times.
Sure, they found the Garden of Eden in Iran.
Well, according to the book, the Bible, it's between like the Tigris and the Euphrates and all that, so it would be Iran, Iraq, something like that, according to the Bible. But yeah, they found Noah's Ark so many times on different mountains in Turkey that what I'm thinking is they're going to take a bit of wood from each area and put them together and say you finally got the Ark. It must have broken apart or something. Sorry,
Why did
creation.
Methuselah have a magic sword that killed an army?
Why would he not?
Why did Methuselah be able to heal Emma Watson's barrenness?
Why would he not?
Why did Methuselah be able to run around as a 900-year-old man?
He was more than 900 years old. Methuselah is a synonym for really, really old. He was older than Noah.
He died at 980 something.
I thought he was older than that. I thought he was like, ridiculously old.
That is ridiculously old.
Did Methuselah die in the flood or before the flood according to the Bible?
Before it.
Thought so.
Maybe it
Why
was
did
the berry.
Methuselah only find one fucking berry? The man had 900 years to look for the things.
It was the one that killed him.
No, the literal wall of water hitting him in the
Yeah,
face.
this is a
killed him.
moment where Occam's razor comes into it. He ate a berry at the same time as being hit by a wall of water while in a worldwide flood. You could think that the berry might have poisoned him, but it's possibly more likely to say that the water might have had something to do with it.
Maybe.
Just a little bit.
Also, this film was shot like Twilight, intersped with, oh my god, if you have epilepsy, you're dead sequences.
Some of the parts, like the explanation of the creation of the universe, which I'm fairly sure is he took liberties with the Bible.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Not just in the visuals, and in the way he described it as well. I think they embellished it to make it more like evolution and reality as things actually happened.
They were doing a very strange paraphrase of Genesis 1 while they were showing you flash, evolution's happening, look, worlds, planets, explosions, at about 3 frames per second. And
if you had that, and I would love to see that in an IMAX, just that section in IMAX in like a science museum or something, because it's like, get rid of the fucking voiceover, just make that feature length, and it's like, here we go, here's the history of the universe. It's a good way of doing it, to depict it, explode your head if you got epilepsy, but, God apparently hates epileptics.
no, they give them epilepsy.
See? And then he was all like, Darren Aronofsky, build me a film.
You will make it 200 minutes long and 3 epileptics dead.
That's horrible.
Oh, is it next episode of Hagan or the one afterwards? We're actually going to have a dedicated epilepsy minion who's going to react to something in the film
Oh dear.
by falling dead.
Aww.
Don't get upset about minions dying.
It's sad.
I've died at least 20 times.
At
They
least.
call people in the film minions, and all I could think of was my wee minions. Yellow men. I was like, what are you looking minions for?
Really need to get one of you guys to dress up as one of those things from, just as a joke.
Pick me, pick me, pick me.
If you can get a costume together.
I'll build one.
Okay, build one and you can minion in one of the episodes of Hagan as one of them.
Yeah.
Just as a little joke. But the... it occurs to me that I may or may not have, one or two people watching this who like my stuff who are creationists. And I gotta say, sorry guys. No. It didn't happen. It's mythology, it's legend, it's, in the case of Noah, it's ripped off heavily from other Middle Eastern flood legends, which came before it.
It's a very, very well documented fact that a lot of Middle Eastern, East Asian, and in fact Polynesian religions have a flood and a man on a boat who saved things.
Yeah, I think the earliest one is Zeothedra.
Hell, the Maui in New Zealand have a legend about that.
This is what happens when you have guys who live near water and there's flooding occasionally.
Except his boat was round.
I could be wrong about this, but I think that North European and Vikings and big chunks of Native Americans have no flood legend because they didn't tend to have much floods.
Poseidon.
Yeah, they don't have particular flood legends. They have a sea god because they have a sea near them, but they're not in an area which tends to have flooding that happens. The Middle East...
Tell that to Holland. It's below the sea level.
It's still beautiful.
Well, I'm going to quote Lex. They're Dutch, they're used to pain.
I still have 3 seasons of Lex in the boot of this car.
Oh dear.
It's a good luck thing.
Lex is awesome. So yeah, sorry, it didn't happen, and anyone who's telling you that it did happen, either they're ignorant, they're stupid, or they're lying to you.
Or they are insane.
That's another possibility, but that probably overlaps with one of the other ones.
Mad, bad, or God?
Are you doing the trilemma? Are you pulling the trilemma, what do you call him, C.S. Lewis's trilemma on me? Because there are other ones. You're liar, legend, or lord. There's other ones.
I'm allowed to say things that rhyme.
He could have been mistaken.
That would make him mad.
No, it wouldn't.
Crazy.
No.
Crazy.
I was once crazy.
You could convince. You could be convinced through other things happening to you that you are God, and not be crazy. Believing that you are God and being crazy are not definitely the same thing. You could theoretically have the extra one.
Yeah. I know it's bullshit. I just like saying it.
Yeah, the trilemma's fucking stupid.
Well, it's like my mood ring. I know it's bullshit, but I like wearing it.
I have really, really, really bizarre, crazy dreams. Most nights. Now, if I seriously woke up one morning and was like, that is a message from the Creator. I must follow through my dream. Like, what? Seriously? I'd be hanging off buildings and kissing weird people and fighting
You do
cats.
that anyway.
Building a bicycle with 4 wheels and...
That's called a carriage.
I would be
No,
blowing up
in line.
places and killing my
Wait,
family.
that's like a tandem plus one.
Tandems usually have 2 wheels.
Do they? Well, sure. The Goodies had like a 3-wheeled bicycle.
I missed that.
Not the Goonies, the film with Sloth. The Goodies, as in the 70s British comedy show.
Oh, I thought you meant the good guys out of this, like no one is family.
I'm lost.
No.
But then, you have those mornings where you wake up and you're like, damn, I had a really good dream, but cannot remember for the life of me what it was about. Imagine you could just have that cup of tea and then remember your dream. I'd be like, yo.
Oh yeah, at one point Noah goes and visits Methuselah and he's like, I've had a message from God. And Methuselah's like, drink this spiked tea.
Here's some peyote.
Here's some LSD. And
Well,
Noah's like,
tea is used in several Native American religions, like that, in order to give you, like, dreams and, visions and shit.
yeah, but that's a different kind of tea.
So that's what I'm saying, peyote.
Have some peyote. And then Noah's like,
What did Noah and his family eat?
grain and paste.
Probably. They make big deals of showing, like, these
Eating animals is wrong.
Oh yeah, they also show like characters eating, some animals, killing some of them, and therefore they're extinct. Although one of the ones that they killed, I'm pretty sure was a zebra, so that's just weird. Maybe it was supposed to be an in-joke and make it a Tasmanian tiger, but I definitely saw it was big and had stripes. Like at the very start, they killed an armadillo dog, and it was only about 3/4 way through I realized, oh, that must be the last one. That's why it wasn't on the Ark, and therefore it doesn't exist. I'm just thinking, why didn't they do something? This is again why they're only halfway to the correct level of insanity. Whenever the humans were trying to storm the place, they should have woken up some T-Rexes, some dragons, some fucking, I don't know, unicorns.
Or actual animals that were in the Bible, the behemoth and the leviathan.
Yeah. Wakes those things up, send them against the humans. Come on, increase the insane level. You've got angels made of rock battling humans so you can get into the fucking Ark. God could have just, made the waters come quicker, I suppose, but God's like, nah! I feel like watching these things explode, especially because it's Frank Langella and Nick Nolte.
Also, God is apparently controlled by pregnancy. It is because you are pregnant that the water stopped!
Why is that an indication that God's angry? Surely everyone's dead. They're not getting any more dead the more water that there is.
Maybe. Why have we got a chimney?
They did?
They had a chimney on the boat.
Was it a very big fire? Here, that cub that creeped onto the boat, did he eat a snake?
Yeah, he ate one type of snake, yeah. That was Tubal Cain, who I believe Tubal Cain is an actual character in the Bible, but he's not really important.
I don't recall him sneaking on the Noah's Ark and eating snakes. And
Can you eat snake?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's protein, it's meat.
Have you never had snake?
Clearly not.
I can't remember if I've eaten snake or
Have
not.
you had snake vodka now?
Huh?
Snake vodka. It's quite popular over here these days.
Vodka with snake in it?
Yeah.
No.
I have never had snake vodka. I can't remember if I've ever eaten snake or not. I wouldn't be opposed to it.
I have eaten snake. It wasn't very nice.
Have you ever eaten alligator?
No, the only thing I've really eaten, lol, was octopus.
The octopus is fine.
That's the only weird thing I've
I haven't had octopus. I've had squid and kangaroo and springbok and wild boar and alligator.
This makes me so sad.
And ostrich.
I ate snails in Canada. Okay, here's the really weird thing. I had it with mushrooms and garlic. Well, Omega hates garlic and mushrooms. And whenever you cook snails, they're basically like mushrooms. So I couldn't tell what the fuck if I was eating snails or mushrooms.
Also, crime of the week. Whenever you are eating an endangered species illegally, make sure you have a person who knows how the fuck to cook it. Seriously, don't ruin that meal.
By eating it raw?
Don't fucking make endangered giant turtle lasagna or bite the head off a raw snake. I'm sorry, snake tastes better fried.
Tubal Cain was reenacting one of the most famous parts of Romancing the Stone, where Jack Colton beheaded a snake and then ate it. Unfortunately, Jack Colton skinned it and cooked it first, and he beheaded it with a machete, and he was in Colombia talking to a writer, but it was nearly the same thing. Nearly.
Only the same thing that going to McDonald's is the same as going into a field and taking a bite out of a cow.
Actually, that's probably got more in common than these two things I'm comparing, but still.
Okay, McDonald's would be better going into a field and taking a bite out of a horse.
At the end of this film, they do not do the whole Mark of Cain, sorry, not Roman Mark, the Curse of Cain type thing, because...
The Curse of Ham?
Yes, that was it, Curse of Ham. It's 2 o'clock in the morning, and I've just watched a stupid film. They, the most accurate part of this film is the bit that comes right after the ship crashes into the mountain.
There I was standing in front of a vine. I picked some grapes and I crushed them to wine. I drank till I was drunk, then lay down naked. My sons came and found me, and I said, "Fuck you, you're black!" From the Bible, folks.
Yeah, the very end, this is the last famous part, Noah finds a bunch of grapes, makes wine, which I wouldn't think would take quite a while, but apparently it happens over a weekend. And he gets really, really drunk, gets naked, and sort of falls over, and then people cover up his nakedness, and then he curses Ham, because apparently that was a terrible thing to do, and then Ham leaves, and that was used as a biblical justification for a lot of racist shit. And that's the most accurate part in this film, although he's not actually cursed for that. He just sort of goes off and leaves.
And then throws the sacred scroll at Noah that was taken from Noah's father before his father could bless him with it by this Hobal Cain or whatever it was called. And then whenever Ham stabbed the man, he was like, "Now you're a man, take this thing I took from your grandfather." And then Ham goes and throws it at Noah when he's naked on the beach.
So then Ham leaves, and he's holding a pack on his back, which looks like... Honestly, until we saw later on that one of the babies that Emma Watson gives birth to, that the babies were both with them, I thought he ran off with one of the babies so he could have his own wife later on. It was turning into last sort of Twilight level weirdness.
Yeah, but they did kind of explicitly say in the movie, "You can't have girls because they'll grow up and marry my sons.
And then I'll have to call them daughter-in-law and
Granddaughter. Also, you're my adopted daughter-in-law, daughter thing. You grew up with my family, I raised you, I adopted you, and I saved your life. Fuck my son!
I command you."
It's okay as long as you're barren. What? My father fixed you? I mean grandfather. How did he do that? He punched me in the stomach and the trees went blurry. Huh.
Darren Aronofsky nearly directed the RoboCop remake and nearly directed the Wolverine.
Well, thank God he didn't.
I have no idea what he would have done with them, but I
What else did he direct that I've seen?
Black Swan, what do you call it? Requiem for a Dream.
So Perfect Blue, and that other anime that Requiem for a Dream was stolen from.
He's a bit like a more eccentric Christopher Nolan.
It looks to me like Christopher Nolan meets the Wachowski brothers.
But Aronofsky's definitely eccentric.
Yeah.
Which, I approve of. I'd rather see Darren Aronofsky directing films than, a big list of people, including, the usual suspects. I'm not talking about Bryan Singer, I'm talking about Brett Ratner and Michael Bay and that ilk.
We need a Jean Craspro, Darren Aronofsky directing crossover.
That would be so fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I really want to, see John Giancarlo, Harry Russo as Noah, because Russell Crowe has a shaved head and goes fucking nuts in this.
Gonna kill your daughter, bitches! Gotta kill her daughter! You
had babies!
You had babies, you
when I was watching this, I decided I'm going to possibly, whenever I get a copy of it, a decent copy, go through this and just sort of create a summation of this film just with little clips. Because there's a bit where a giant rock person talks about his hands, and I just sort of went over, his big, strong hands.
It was like, you take care of them. It's like, you're leaving them in good hands. Jesus goes, these big, strong hands. And I replied, hands that could crush your skull, but don't very.
Yeah, there was that. There's a fuckload of other things. I want to get the bits where Noah is talking to God, and he's just looking at the sky, and I want to dub on the Monty Python God from Holy Grail.
Why won't you answer me? Hello.
Of course, should I kill my daughter, my granddaughter? Of course, it's a good idea.
God, what are you telling me to do? I'm not touching this, bro.
And of course, you got the bit where the giant rock angel tears him in his chest to explode into a suicide bomber, which in a religious movie is really quite funny, actually. But it's I want to dub on Stan Bush's The Touch, because it's light our darkest hour. Transformers movie.
Suicide bomber motif. You see that in the Rock Angel? It's like Noah. Everyone will die, and then we will die.
Oh yeah, Noah's a fucking cult leader.
Everyone will die, and then we will jump into the water and die with them and leave the animals on the ark.
To be fair, in the film, what you have here is a scenario where you got God wants to kill everyone, and you got the guy who's okay with him killing everyone, against a bunch of people who don't want to die. Unless you're looking at this with the slight bias of, oh, it is the Bible, or oh, this is classic literature or something. If you don't look at this story completely rationally, you cannot look at Noah as a hero. Or God. The hero really should be Ray Winston. Which is fucking hilarious, because he looks ridiculous.
At one point, Ham goes and tries to help an innocent girl. He's fallen into a pit full of dead bodies. We don't really get an explanation for it, but... Excuse me.
It's to show, it's one of the little bits to show that all of the humanity was evil.
So there's an open grave, which is actually not evil and quite a common occurrence in poorer places, that this girl is apparently living in. And she's like, go away, I don't like you. And he's like, have some food. And she's still like, go away, I don't like you. And we cut back and she's like, let me go with you. And then she gets her foot stuck in a trap and falls over. And Noah's just like, come, we're going, Ham. And Ham's like, no, help me, save this innocent woman. No, nope. And Noah just pushes her under this army of running men. It's like, yeah, you're the good guy in this.
Yeah, the villains are the complete heroes. This is going to add this to my short list of films where the guys who were supposed to be the heroes are actually the villains. You
That
got
and
this.
the 300 too.
We got that. We got Jurassic Park, The Lost World. You got Star Trek Insurrection. This would be a fascinating list because it's like they're like, okay, these are our heroes. We're going to put them into this story where they cannot possibly be the heroes, but we're going to try and do every single narrative trick we can to make people think they're the heroes.
Indiana Jones.
And which one?
The one without Nazis.
There were two without Nazis. The good one or the bad one?
The good one.
Actually, see, this is going to be really controversial for everyone because these are the ones without the Nazis are hated by absolutely everyone. Now, I love one of them ones, and I think the other one's okay. But just watch, there's people in there going, "Which one is he insulting? Which one?"
The one without Shia LaBeouf.
Temple of Doom, my personal favorite Indiana Jones film.
That had Nazis.
No, it didn't.
Oh no, it didn't.
Temple of Doom was the second one.
They were just normal people.
Raiders of the Lost Ark, Temple of Doom, Last Crusade, Crystal Skull.
Okay, there are
As far
two-
as I'm concerned, everyone that's not fucking Temple of Doom is roughly on the same sort of level with little ups and downs, although Crystal Skull has more downs than ups.
If you look at Indiana Jones films, it goes either two ways. One, this white English guy invades nations and steals their shit.
Who's English?
Oh, American, but you know.
Yes, I do know that, English are so the same as the Americans.
They were at this point.
They are so the same people in the early years of the 20th century. Oh, they are absolutely the
White,
same.
English-speaking, upper-class gentlemen.
Indiana Jones isn't upper class.
Yes, he is. He's a college professor that puts him above the working class and above the middle class.
Not by a European standard. European standards upper class is something that's inherited.
Right, well, okay. White guy goes to other nations and steals their shit.
Imperialistic-y.
Yes, incredibly imperialistic.
Okay.
Or he's just utterly useless, and the movie would be exactly the same without him in it.
It's weird you chose Temple of Doom, because Temple of Doom's one of the ones where he is most definitely a good guy, because he single-handedly saves a bunch of children from their really weird depiction of the Toogie cult.
And he also leads evil people to the secret of immortality, and then by the skin of his teeth stops them from getting it.
Yeah, see, the other ones, like Crusade and Raiders of the Lost Ark and all, they're a little bit more grey. However, Temple of Doom, it's the one where he's most cut and dried, the heroic figure. So I thought it was weird that's one you chose.
Was that the one with the temple with the cup of Christ in it?
No, that's Last Crusade. I'm thinking about the one who goes,
Oh, well,
Kalima!
Sue me, I got my Indiana Jones things confused.
Especially considering Temple of Doom doesn't have Nazis, Last Crusade does have Nazis. And the leader of the Nazis is not, well, it's Hitler because he turns up at one point. But the guy who is the main villain of Last Crusade is Julian Glover, who's actually English and was in Doctor Who several times.
Okay, all I'm saying is that the Indiana Jones movies would have been better without the character of Indiana Jones.
What has this got to do with Noah?
I don't know.
White imperialistic guy wants to end civilization and keep everything for himself.
I'm not sure he's trying to end civilization per se, maybe just one version of it. I think the connection is because Indiana Jones has, the Jewish god having magical powers and doing shit, therefore Noah probably did happen in that universe, because the Ark of the Covenant was there.
It also has aliens. In canon forever. God, I really gotta rewatch Indiana Jones. But this movie was shit. It was too long. I had to go and get more food. That's how long it was. I got hungry in the middle.
Wasn't this like a page and a half in the book?
Genesis 5 through 7. That's 2 chapters. A page and a half, yes.
And given that, biblical chapters have on occasion been two words long.
That's a verse. Biblical verses have been two words long. Biblical chapters tend to be about 30 verses.
Don't show me up in front of the camera.
You show me up all the damn time!
It's rude.
Jesus wept.
Oh, well placed.
Thank you. Also, there's a guy in this who just looks like pictures of Jesus.
It's hilarious. That guy's hair is so well styled and moosed and everything. I'm used to having, like, the characters who have hair looking ridiculously good for the scenario they're in, all the women. But this case, it's just this guy. Everyone else is like, frizzy and, crappy looking hair, but he's like, I'm fabulous.
So we've got Girl Richard Dawkins. He's married to Fabulous Jesus, who's brother to the soccer kid.
The Beast from X-Men Days of Future Past and, what do you call it? First Class, Nicholas Hoult.
Yep.
From About a Boy.
With young Andrew Ginger.
Andrew Ginger.
Yes, the youngest son, Andrew Ginger.
You could have called him, what do you call it? Wait, what use of Andrew are you using? Because
Androgynous.
see, that's a third one. I hadn't thought of that. Because I was thinking, were you making fun of the fact that he was android-like and, robotic in his acting? Or were you saying that he was andro as in male, simply because you couldn't remember because he was so androgynous that you have to call him that to remind yourself? I hadn't even thought that you were making a reference to the fact he was androgynous. That's clever.
And his mother was Andrew in the first sense. Be given. I act like a robot. My emotions are on or off. Hello, Noah. I'm your wife. And my emotions are off again.
You'd think that given her first big acting role was in Labyrinth, she would be able to more convincingly portray someone who is being terror about a baby.
Labyrinth?
Yeah, that's the girl from Labyrinth. The mother was the girl from Labyrinth.
Shut up.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly.
Ah, I love Labyrinth.
The girl from Labyrinth is called Sarah.
Yes.
That's not why I love it, David Boy.
But
You are David Bowie.
Uh-huh.
yeah, if you squint.
You're my David Bowie.
Thanks. I've got a
You should hear her sing.
huge bulge down there.
She does. Her penis is enormous.
So,
Okay.
Noah?
I didn't enjoy this movie.
It was stupid. Honestly, the only reason we went to see it was because I heard it annoyed creationists, and I do give it, several stars for annoying creationists.
There's a thing going around in the Christian community at the moment. I'm friends with all of them on Facebook, and it's basically like, go and see Noah, then stand up at the end and loudly announce that if you want to hear the real story, read 2 chapters of Genesis.
I think they overestimate the number of people who give a shit. And I don't think they realised how self-defeating that would be, because if they all did that, the film would make more money. And as it stands, it's not making a lot of money.
I feel sorry for the people who are going to walk away from this film thinking that's how it happened. That is true. That actually happened. Them poor people.
They're the same people who walked away from the Avengers thinking the same thing.
Well, no, I was kind of one of them people. I was hoping it was real. I want real Iron Man and real Thor and real people.
Thank God, you only met the Avengers, it's okay.
I got a question.
Oh, not Noah.
Yeah, about the Noah question, the people who walk, you're worrying about the people who walk away, wondering if that was real. In what sense are you thinking of, are those people thinking, oh, that's exactly how it happened in the Bible, or the ones who are thinking there actually might have been a flood that happened?
Oh, no, that's how it happened in the Bible.
Okay.
Yeah, she's worried about the people who walk away from this with even more fucked up religious views.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're really Christian, read the Bible, go to see the film and be like, that's how it happened.
Well, they should have read the Bible then. Because there's, discrepancies.
Also, monsters made of rock already have a name in Jewish history. They're called golems.
No, golems are created by rabbis out of clay. These ones are supposed
Clay
to be...
is a rock.
These are... In the Bible, it said there were giants and fallen angels and Nephilim and stuff. That's what they're meant to be.
Yes, in this film, though, they're described as angels who got coated with mud accidentally as punishment.
Well, that's not accidentally then.
They fell into mud and God made them say that
I
way.
think there's interpretations which say that those ones, came, from the earth, and that's like their visual depiction. It's just it's a rather more loose interpretation
I don't know. People don't seem to understand just how different the Old Testament and the Jewish faith are.
Yeah, from what I get, sort of that because Darren Aronofsky's Jewish. I think he was doing this from a non-Christian version of it.
Oh, of course he was.
So, but
There was elements of Jewish paganism in there.
yeah, and there was the thing about the arm. I'm pretty sure they still do the wrapping thing, though not with the snake skin. They do something involving the wrapping things around the arm in some ceremonies.
I think it's a bar mitzvah.
Yeah. But the
Don't quote me on that.
I had another idea for how they could have turned full on 300ized this and improved it a bit. Okay, we have a little bit where the world that they are in beforehand is different from ours. Like we see it from space, and it's Pangea. I don't think they quite realize how fast,
Yeah,
continents
Pangea
move.
didn't happen 6,000 years ago.
Yeah. But then they also have the first rainbow, which is like fabulous and all around the place. Well, they should have gone more with that, because if you look at noted creation scientist and convicted fraudster Kent Hovind, he was sure that around the Earth, to explain the fact that there is not enough water in the Earth system to drown the Earth, because physically it's impossible, we don't have enough water. He had the idea that there was possibly an area around the Earth which is made of ice, and it
The firmament.
melted. Yeah, the firmament is part of the Bible, but his interpretation was it was made of ice.
No. The firmament in the Catholic faith is made of ice.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought it was made of something else and it would just opened up or something. But
And also, the belief about the
it's
firmament.
the water
now
above
is-
it, and
Yeah, the water above though was ice, and it filtered out radiation, and it also because
so that's Kent Hovind. That's the shit he says.
also because before the firmament melted, the oxygen makeup of the environment was 3 times higher, and that's why Noah lived to be 900 years old.
That's textbook Kent Hovind insanity. They really should have gone with that sort of thing. What they should have had was okay, there's water above the Earth, there is ice up there. They should have somehow CGI'd the skies and stuff subtly, not draw attention to it, just to make it look like they're inside an aquarium, looking up like the tunnel in an aquarium, that there was water up there. And then, of course, once the rain came down, it wasn't there anymore. They could have done subtle things like that to show, and maybe
Then you could have Noah lying on his back looking at the stars while drunk going, fuck, I'm gonna fall into them, fuck.
yeah, and they could have ended with a shot of the Earth as it was now, with the continents, moved. The implication is the water coming up from the Earth moved the continents, which is complete bullshit, and it's the sort of thing that creation stupid people do actually say happened.
But it makes more sense than the story in this story.
In the context of the film, it would have been amusing to depict. Noah, you're about halfway to being entertainingly stupid. Right now, you're just stupid and silly and over the top.
But surely if it rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and rained and rained, there would be loads of water.
No, there's not enough.
Did you learn about the water cycle in high school?
Yeah.
It'll get to a point when you can't
It's a
rain.
closed system. At some point, if all the water is on the land, the sea will be empty.
You'll get to a point when you cannot rain anymore. They will need to evaporate water from elsewhere in order to have it rain again.
But surely it's God. It's magic.
Yes, I was saying scientifically it can't happen.
Okay.
Science does not deal with God because God cannot be tested.
But God made the laws of physics.
You've got to
Apparently.
demonstrate that God exists before we can comment on that.
I'll demonstrate it. Look,
Wow, it's a hand.
he's omnipresent. I just grabbed the hem of his robe.
That's
Wow!
blasphemous.
That's not blasphemous.
God's robe is indistinguishable from something that doesn't actually exist!
Have faith, damn it!
No, there
Okay.
is no faith in science. Sorry.
I love
Rationalist.
him in the middle here.
Rationalist.
Deist.
Fair enough.
But to me, that film would make me not believe. Is that silly? It really would.
Yes, basing your entire belief system on a film made by Dan Aronofsky is silly.
Yeah, that
No,
would be silly.
yeah, I know, but it just makes me question so much.
Good. And people should, you should question shit.
Yeah, questioning is the way forward.
Yeah, if you don't question stuff, you can't possibly improve. And everyone can always improve. There's no such thing as perfection. Everyone should try to improve.
Unless you find the omega particle.
That's still not perfection.
It was perfect.
No, it wasn't.
That's the entire point.
No.
Are we referencing the same omega particle?
I'm confused.
You talk about the Star Trek Voyager?
Yes.
See, they're just calling it perfect. See, that's just a point of view. It is a functional particle. It does something. They're calling it perfect because Star Trek Voyager needs some sort of a storyline and needs the Borg to apparently have a religion because that makes no fucking sense.
And the Super Queen.
Well, that made no sense, but that wasn't Star Trek Voyager's fault.
They changed it up.
It was
The Queen
first
was a
contact
focal...
fault.
Yeah, but not the Queen was a focal point for discussion and communication.
No, they ruined it. Originally, the Borg were not supposed to have a queen. And they were much more effective cinematically when they did not.
Yes, they were.
They were zombies.
We're talking about Star Trek.
My head hurts.
I think we should wrap this up.
Yes, don't go and see Noah. It's rather shite. It wasn't crazy enough or not crazy enough to be interesting.
It made me feel physically sick.
And there was a lot of incest.
That was just Russell Crowe.
And times are there.
Put me off drinking wine.
It's not okay. It's just shite.
You got so many of the creations got really annoyed because they were portraying Noah as a man so evil that he would kill babies. Yet they don't have anger at Noah for being so evil as to sit there listening to the cries of the dying outside, including babies and children. And they don't get angry at God for killing babies all throughout the world, millions of them. But they also got angry that at the end, they treated him getting drunk as survivor's guilt. They were like, how dare you be psychopathic enough to kill children, and how dare you not be psychotic enough to feel guilty for surviving when God killed children? How dare you try to make God feel bad for killing children?
They're fundamentalists. Fundamentalists, no matter what they believe,
They don't worship a god, they worship a book. They worship their interpretation of a book.
By the way, if you're a fundamentalist, I don't care if you're a fundamentalist Christian, a fundamentalist Muslim, a fundamentalist Brony. If you're a fundamentalist at anything...
How can you be a fundamentalist Brony?
You can believe in only Gen 1. Gen 1 and Gen 1 only. This new stuff is sacrilege. Friendship is Magic should not have been allowed on the TV. It's not Bible canon! No, but if you're a fundamentalist to anything, you're wrong and go away.
Okay.
Friendship with Magic. Okay, I've only seen the first season, but unlike Gen 1, My Little Pony, it does seem to be competently written.
I didn't comment that it wasn't. I just said that a fundamentalist Brony might think Gen 1
I'm
and
pretty
Gen 1
sure there is no one outside of middle-aged woman who would be that interested in Generation 1 My Little Pony.
I don't know, I like Gen 4.
That's fair enough, but Gen 1, it's not like My Little Pony is not... Transformers has people who are obsessive Gen 1 fans. I'm an obsessive Gen 1 Transformers fan. But My Little Pony just doesn't have that level of insane fandom for Generation 1.
No, not
for Friendship is Magic, yeah.
Not for the show, but for the actual ponies, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Outside
There are
of
people
middle-aged
out there
woman?
who pay a lot of money for Gen 1
Outside of
ponies.
middle-aged woman?
I know a lot of guys.
Interesting.
Oh dear.
Anyway. Bye!
Bye. Say goodbye.
Wait, say that again.
Bye!
Bull.
Huh?
Yeah, it was Adam and Eve. It's the Bible, not the straight bull.